Hi, my name is Evelyn Huaman, and I'm a second year nursing student with a minor in indigenous studies at McGill University. So I've been using Genio since 2023, but before Genio came into the picture in my studies, it was a huge nightmare because I didn't have a very good system to be able to catch all the details that I needed for my exams, and those details that slipped through the cracks ended up being very important in the long run, and I had like a cumulative effect that really impacted my grades. So now it is much more easier for me to listen, read, and understand because Genio is doing like a lot of the work at the same time as I am. So we both kind of like putting two brains together, and I have all the world to thank Genio for the help that it's given me and my continued success. So with Genio Notes, I would say my experience now with my studies is less hectic, less frantic, I would say, because especially in my indigenous minor, I have like to reproduce a translation exercise from a Mohawk language to English, and some of the pronunciations of the words is very hard to catch and grasp like when you hear it for the first time, especially when the sentences keep getting longer and longer. So Genio helps me like basically increase my study effectiveness and decrease the time I spend on it as well, because it would take me a long time just to sort out the information on my own and reconstruct what the lecture was about. So Jenny really helps me like go straight to the point and really helps me survive my indigenous class so far. So the feature that I would absolutely protect on Genio over all the rest would be the lecture recording with automatic transcript. And the reason why is because it safeguards all the amounts of details that can be talked about in class, and then I can review it, and then it makes a significant difference for me in terms of my learning. I also find most of my classes that are really theory dense and as well as very lengthy and session based are very hard for me to like keep track of what everyone is like bouncing off ideas from. So for me, like to recapitulate all that with the lecture recordings is very essential so that I can like understand at the end of the day what the whole discussion was about and where it headed and how I can improve and go from there. One thing I would say, Genio has been like a companion and it's transformed a little bit some areas in my life. For instance, I would really compromise my friendships, time with my friends, time with my family, time on extracurriculars, just because I was so concentrated on my studies. It absorbed most of my time, so I didn't have much left. And now that I use Genio, I have way more time than I could ever want, and that's amazing because I need that all that time, and it helps me explore things outside of my nursing circle and also outside of my indigenous minor, and I have been really happy with that because I really needed to branch out and just see what else there is and make connections to that in my profession. It actually helps me a lot more than just staying in my little like what I know and being sufficient with the knowledge that I know. And I've also been able to participate more in activities that really matter to me, and I've done quite well on them, and I've been able to gain some accomplishments around like extracurriculars and things that I'm really passionate about.